Hello everyone, I am Muid Ahmed Siddiqui, and in this video I will solve a question of throughput accounting. This is an interesting topic and I have chosen this question from the ACCA past papers. This is a very old question from the ACCA past papers. I have chosen this question. I have selected this question. I feel that that this is an interesting one and it will help you a lot in clarifying your concepts regarding throughput accounting. Now, first of all, here I would like you to pause this video and read this question once. So it will make things easier for you to understand. Now, in this question, the company, Yam company, is making three products and is using three different processes to process the products. In the first requirement A, we are required to identify the bottleneck process. We are required to identify the bottleneck process. Bottleneck process is any process that limits the activities of the business, of the organization. So, in order to find out which one of these three is the bottleneck or is the limiting factor, actually you need to you need to identify which of these three processes takes the most time, takes most of the time of all the factory time. Now here, as you can see, for product A, pressing, the first one, the pressing process is taking the most time, is taking more time as compared to stretching and rolling. As you can see, pressing takes 0.5 hours as compared to 0.25 hours of stretching and 0.4 hours of rolling. Again, pressing takes 0.5 hours of 0.5 hours in product B as compared to 0.4 hours of stretching and 0.25 hours of rolling. Again, pressing takes 0.4 hours of product C as compared to 0.25 hours of stretching and 0.25 hours of rolling. So, pressing is the bottleneck. Pressing is the bottleneck process. Is the bottleneck process out of these three. So the answer to requirement A is very simple, that pressing is the bottleneck process as it takes most time, as it takes, you can say, as it takes more time as compared to the other two processes. That's why pressing is the bottleneck process. Moving forward, or you can say that pressing is the limiting factor. Moving forward, in the second requirement, we are required to calculate the throughput accounting ratio for the three products A, B, and C. We are required to calculate TPAR for the three products A, B, and C. Now, first of all, what we gonna do, we will find out the throughput per limiting factor for the three products A, B, and C. We will calculate the throughput per limiting factor for the three products. So let me calculate in front of you the throughput per limiting factor for the three products. Okay. Now, first we have product A, then B, and then C. So how do we calculate the throughput? We take selling price and we reduce, we deduct, we subtract material cost to get the throughput. Now, okay, then selling price for product A is $3. As you can see here, it is mentioned in the question that the selling price for A is $3. Oh, sorry, this is the material cost. This is the material cost First we need to identify the selling price for each product. So price for A is $70, in fact $70 for A, $60 for B, and $27 for C. These are the selling prices for the three products: 70, 60, and 27. 70, 60, and 27. Now for the material cost for A is $3, for B is $2.5, and $1.8 for C. $3 for A minus 3. $3 for A, 2.5 for B, and 1.8 for C. So the throughput for each product, throughput per unit for each product is how much? We can easily calculate by just subtracting the material cost from the selling price. Now, this is the throughput for each product per unit. So, as I said earlier, we need to calculate throughput per limiting factor. The limiting factor here is the pressing process. So, we will divide it by hours in pressing. We will divide it by how many hours it takes to process each meter of these three products. It takes 0.5 hours for A, zero point 0.5 for B, and 0.4 for C. 0.5 for these two and 0.4 for C. So throughput per limiting factor will become, throughput per limiting factor will become how much? Will become, so throughput per limiting factor is 134 for A, 115 for B, and 63 for C. Okay, so this is the throughput per limiting factor. The second thing that we need to calculate is factory cost, is the total factory cost per factory time. Factory cost, total factory cost divided by factory time. This is what we need to calculate. So I suggest that we first calculate the total factory cost. How much is the total factory cost? How much is the total factory cost? Let's look at this. Let's look at the question for this. Other factory costs. Here in the last paragraph, you can see, uh, just wait a minute. In the last paragraph, it is mentioned that factory costs, or all costs other, you can say all cost other than labor and raw material, other factory cost is how much? Is 18 million. Is 18 million. Now factory costs are all costs excluding the cost of raw material. Factory cost is all cost excluding raw material cost. So there is one more thing that we need to add to this cost, that is the cost of labor. That is the cost of labor. That is the, let me make it a little bit more clear. That is the cost of labor. We need to add cost of labor to this cost, 18,000. I am rounding this figure to 18,000. Okay, so how will we calculate cost for labor, the total labor cost? Here you can see that the total factory time is 225,000 hours. Is how much? Is 225,000 hours. And labor is paid at a rate of $10 per hour. So if you multiply $10 by this, what will you get? What will you get? Just multiply it by 225,000 hour. You will get like, yes, you will get 2.25 million. You will get 2.25 million. Okay. So, and if you round this figure to thousands, if you round this figure to thousands, it will become 2250. Just add this 2250 to this cost, to this 18 million other factory cost. You will get 20,250. This is the total factory cost. This is the total factory cost. This is the total factory cost. Now, just divide it. This is the total factory cost. And what do we need to find out? We need to find out total factory cost per factory time. Factory cost divided by the factory time. How much is the total factory time? The total factory time is 225,000 hours. So in order to find this, in order to find out total factory cost, 20,250, this is the total factory cost. And how much is the total factory time? Total factory time is 225, is total factory time is 225,000 hours. I have rounded these figures. I have rounded these figures to thousands. You can say like this in dollar thousand. Okay. So factory cost per factory time. Factory cost per factory time will be how much? Will be 20,250 divided by this amount, 90. So factory cost per factory time will be 90. And we will take this figure for all the three products. This will remain the same. This will remain the same. Factory cost per factory time will be 90. This ratio will remain the same for all the three products. Now, so TPAR, in order to find the throughput accounting ratio, what we need to do, we just need to divide throughput per limiting factor. We need to divide this throughput per limiting factor by this ratio, factory cost per factory time. Okay. So throughput accounting ratio is how much? Throughput accounting ratio is this. Throughput accounting ratio for the three products is 1.489 for A, 1.2778 for B, and zero point 0.7 for C. This is how we calculate the throughput accounting ratio. So when you so in order to find out the TPAR, first you need to calculate throughput per limiting factor. This is the one thing. And the second ratio that you need to calculate is factory cost, total factory cost per factory time. And just divide these two. Just divide these two to get throughput accounting ratio. So this is how we calculate throughput accounting ratio. I hope that you get a good understanding of how we calculate throughput accounting ratio by looking at by watching this video. So I hope that you have found this video useful. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching. uh, and I will keep posting videos like this in future. You can see, you can understand that how easy it is, to calculate throughput accounting ratio. This was a short video on how do we calculate throughput accounting ratio. So let me know if you need any kind of assistance. I am available on social media platforms like Facebook, like WhatsApp, and other social media platforms like LinkedIn, but most frequently I use WhatsApp and Facebook. You can contact me for any kind of assistance that you need. And I hope that you find this video useful. Ask me for any kind of assistance that you need. It was Muid Ahmed Siddiqui, and I'll keep posting videos like this. Hope to see you soon. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching. Last but not least, my number is given in this video, as you can see here. So you can contact me via call, by calling me, or just sending me a message on the WhatsApp. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching.